at Renato Auto Mall. Before you buy, come see Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. And they are now your SUV headquarters. Over 50 to choose from, new and used. All makes, all models, and 10 to choose from, priced at under $10,000 at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com.
Summertime fun starts in your own backyard with a call to Gage Pool and Spa in Gastonia. And right now, you can get low financing with approved credit on your new pool. Offer good on both above ground and in-ground pools. Low financing with approved credit. See Gage Pool and Spa for all the details. That's Gage Pool and Spa, 3025 Union Road, Gastonia, in the Food Line Plaza at Robinwood Crossing. Open 7 days a week.
Oak Grove Auto Sales, Service, and Body Shop in Kings Mountain was founded on trust, integrity, and respect. They are proud to offer these values to their customers. You'll find quality vehicles at the best possible price, like a 1998 Chevrolet Corvette convertible, $17,995, a 2004 Ford Taurus SE, $34,995, and a 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $74,995. Oak Grove Auto Sales, Service, and Body Shop, 522 Oak Grove Road in Kings Mountain. Online at oakgroveauto.com.
Hey, where do you go for a real body shop? Simple. The Shop Incorporated, 1034 Marys Grove Road, Cherryville. Insurance work, custom work, and full-on paint work. See Mark Booth at The Shop Incorporated. He can beat the price of any shop, anywhere. Whether a fender bender or collision, see The Shop Incorporated, a full-service body shop with all of today's top equipment and expertise. Also soon to come at 806 Church Street, Cherryville, across from Family Carryout, The Shop Incorporated, second location for all service work and tires. The Shop Incorporated, 704-435-0184.
Hey, this is Milton Baker. I was talking the other day with Wade at Trick One Collision Center in Lincoln about all the levels of auto repair, collision work, insurance work. Well, now, Wade was telling me about the detailing service. Expert auto detailing inside and out at Trick One. Water spot removal, headlamp reconditioning, scratch removal, 3-step paint restoration, all that and more. Far superior work than any drive-through car wash could do. Call them up, 704-736-9960. Call them today. Tell them Milton sent you.
I am a veteran. I lost both legs in Vietnam.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory was getting my benefits and a good education.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran. I didn't want to admit it, but I had PTSD.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory was finding help and learning that I wasn't alone.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
NASCAR racing right here on Big O Country, WCSL 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
All right, welcome out to the best in sports right here on a Wednesday, WCSL 1590 AM and 92.3 on your FM station. Tim Johnson and Kenny Link. And I tell you, folks, we have the man himself in the studio with us. We're going to call him Mr. Super Freak. Kevin Hastings in the house. What do you think about that, Kevin? Super Freak Kevin Hastings. That's old school right there, brother. Tim Johnson and Kevin Hastings. Ken is on his way. I don't know where Ken is. Have no idea. Don't know where his whereabouts is.
He's the super freak. He's part of Rick James right now.
All righty, big man. Hope you're doing good out there. Hey, listen up. Kevin Hastings and Mr. Steve Perkins are at the Cleveland County Fair yesterday. Ken and myself, we were there the whole entire time. Had a great time. Monday as well. So, folks, if you're traveling, just getting off work, or even your kids out there, want to take them to the fair, Cleveland County Fair, the 94th annual, it is absolutely a sight to be at. A lot of great food. Don't go and don't eat before you go. They got tons of food there, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you go up there and just make it a family atmosphere, a night out, or it's going to be there all the way up until Sunday, I believe it is. So come on out, enjoy Calvin Hastings and Steve Perkins. They'll be there tomorrow too as well. Talking about sports here on the Best in Sports, WCSL. Tim Johnson, Kevin Hastings in here with us today. Kevin's part of the Saturday morning show, him and Terry Reinhardt. And Hunter Yancey, saw Hunter yesterday, Kevin, and he had his sweetheart up there. Have you met his lady?
No, I didn't know he had a
Man,
girlfriend.
I'm telling you, the boy does good. I'm telling
I assumed
you.
he had a boyfriend. I don't
No,
know what he's
you'd
got. I
be.
don't know
I'm
what
telling
he
you, you'd
don't
be
tell me
proud of him,
nothing.
man.
He don't tell me nothing. He don't tell anybody nothing. Hunter is a funny Saturday. He's a Redskins fan.
I know that.
So Hunter came in Saturday, and I wasn't even paying attention. I just saw he had a 26 jersey on. I assumed it was Clinton Portis, and I thought he was in the house, but
Who did he say it was?
He's actually bought an Adrian Peterson jersey.
Ah.
So now he didn't have any Nike checks on the jersey.
Huh.
So Carson was asking him if he bought it from China.
Sure.
Because there's no actual apparel listed on that. But Hunter's pumped, and so is Carson. Let me tell you about Carson this year, Tim. He's an Atlanta Braves fan. He went to Hunter Huss High School, and he is a Los Angeles Rams fan.
Wow, man! I tell you, he's just number one at all the ranks, ain't he?
His football team neither one of his football teams have lost this year.
Wow.
The Rams and Hunter Huss are combined, I think, 10-0 right now, and both of them looking extremely good, or 9-0. I can't remember if Huss is 5 or 6 wins right now off the top of my head, but yeah, they
in the WhatsApp shop, you got them number one. Is that correct?
And he's a Braves fan too, so he's had a heck of a sports year. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that before Ken gets here, because I don't have much time, so I'm gonna talk about what I do know and what I do have. This week, the WhatsApp Shopper comes out on tomorrow afternoon. Really, you can pick up our poll. Now, here's how the poll works, Tim. Every week, I actually eliminate a team from Super Bowl contention.
Aha.
This isn't a ranking of I think this team's better than this team or I think this team's better than this team. It means what are your chances of winning the Super Bowl
or getting there?
So for example, to be in the top 12, you have to be qualified for the playoffs.
Gotcha.
So the Patriots last week destroyed Miami. But Miami
2-2.
But Miami is 3-1 in the playoffs still, and New England is not. So in my poll, I have Miami ahead of New England. So anybody that looks at it's gonna be like, this guy's an idiot. New England killed Miami. That's not what it's. You can't win the Super Bowl if you're not in the playoffs. It doesn't matter what your record
right.
is. So New England's not in the playoffs right now. So they're technically they're in my 13th hole. So what I did, I went down through, and after 4 weeks, you can start kind of get a glance of what these teams, what kind of teams are, what their averages are on offense and defense, and what the point spread is. So I took the 12 teams that made the playoffs. So every week I put the 12 that are in the playoffs, and then I put them in order in ranking on how I think they can win the Super Bowl. So the top 12 is in an order of, so if you got a bye per se right now, you've got a better chance of winning the Super Bowl than you do if you had 3 road games.
Gotcha.
So, for example, Carolina would come in the playoffs right now. They would be on the road every game.
So my Cowboys would not even have a chance.
Cowboys
to
are not
right
in the playoffs,
now.
so they're not.
They're 19.
They're not
You have them
they're not
19th. Is that
12th.
right?
Let's see. Yes, I do.
19th.
So
That's
let me go down the list. I'm going to do the names real quick, and then we'll go back and talk about some different teams and some specific numbers.
There's one that is a surprise that you got number 5 that we was talking about before we went on air. So
a lot of people would have them 1 or 2, right? But
probably 2.
But
2
based on the points and here's the thing. Last year in NFL history, here's the thing. Keep in mind when you're looking at these teams. In NFL history, from the time it began to the time till right now, every single year NFL scoring averages ranges between 23 and 25.
Sure.
So it does not get any bigger than that. So NFL averages, people say, well, scoring's up or scoring's down. It's never, ever been up or down. It's always been 23 to 25. This year it's sitting at 23. So everybody tells you, I've looked and I've seen the most I've got a thing right here. Watch this. It talks about the most yards so far in NFL history. First quarter of the NFL season, the most points scored through 4 weeks, the most touchdowns scored through 4 weeks, the most touchdown passes through 4 weeks. All of those NFL history. But teams are averaging 23 points and not 24. So scoring is actually down on average, but they've actually scored more points than ever, if that makes any sense to them.
And, folks, you can pick up a WhatsApp shopper like Kevin said tomorrow, and he's got all the stats in there and so forth with the defense and offensive stats. And like you said, he's got 1 through,
Right now, we got 27 teams still in the poll. So we've kicked 5 teams out of the poll. So every week I kick a team
22,
out.
1 through 22. Is that correct?
So, yes. So for example, this week, before this week started, I kicked out Buffalo, Oakland, Arizona, and San Francisco.
I got you.
Those teams, in my opinion, have no chance of making the Super Bowl. And every week I have to knock a team out.
Now, you got Dallas on the edge now.
They're getting close.
They're getting close.
So this week in the paper, we get rid of the Colts. The Colts are 1-3. Their point differential is only negative 1.5. The offense is average at 17th. Defense is average at 18th. The problem is one, the defense is 18th, is not that great. But Luck also, he's not healthy.
Yeah.
If you bring in someone else to throw the Hail Mary, you're not healthy.
Sure.
And that's what they did.
That's exactly.
So
they brought the guy in from used to be with the Patriots. The backup quarterback.
And I think he could be starting in the league right now. And he is. If you look at his numbers, he compares favorably to a lot of people. Yeah, Brissett.
Yeah,
I don't even know exactly.
Jacoby Brissett
to pronounce it. I know.
From NC State, went to NC State. Played good football.
NC State's got a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL. Believe it.
They got one coming out. Finley's going to be really good.
Glennon's in there. Let me go down the list. So we talked about those 5 eliminated teams so far. So Buffalo, Oakland, Arizona, San Francisco. These 5 teams next on the list I call on the chopping blocks. All these teams are 1-3. So these teams will be coming up in the next few weeks on who I'm going to get rid of in the poll. Giants 27, Lions 26, Texans 25, Jets 24, Falcons 23. Real quick synopsis on every team. Giants, terrible offensive line. The Detroit Lions
they're done.
They're the Detroit Lions. The Houston Texans, it always takes more than a year to come back from an ACL. And Deshaun hasn't had, he's had 13 months or 14 months. He hasn't had the 20 months. I think that team will be hot next year. Everybody talks about their defense, Tim. They're ranked 21st right now.
Yeah,
they're giving up 27 points a game.
J.J. Watt.
And they're not stopping anybody.
That.
Here's a weird one. Up until last week, the Jets were actually in the top 10 in offense and defense, but then they got stomped this weekend, and so they drop out.
They lost Fitzpatrick.
Yes, they've scored. Here's the fun stat for the Jets: they've scored the exact same number of offensive points as defensive points, and they're 1-3. Now here's the other thing: that same number is 22.3. If you score on offense 22.3, you're 21st. If you hold the other teams to 22.3, you're 13th in defense. So 22, around the 22, 23, 4. And I've been telling Panthers fans for this year forever. If you want to know how good Cam's doing or whatever he's doing, just look at 24. The magic number in any NFL game is 24.
24.
So if your defense holds under 24, you should have won. If your defense gives up more than 24, your offense needs to pick it up.
So explain to Cowboys. I know their defense is the top 7, or I think top 5 defense. I mean,
they're
really
7th.
Good.
7th. They're giving up 19.3 points.
But they're not
a game.
putting any points on the board. Is that what it is?
The offense is the problem. Here's 30th. 30th in points scored. Dak Prescott, of the 24 quarterbacks who have played every game, the 4 games, not 3. You know, some teams have a bye, like Cam's got a bye. Of the 24 quarterbacks who's played all 4 games, Dak is dead last in yards. Dead last. Of the 35 who've actually played, Dak is 30th. Cam's 28th. So,
speaking of Cam, where you got the Panthers at, Cam? I didn't see the Panthers.
The Panthers.
Yeah, what
let me get in the middle of the road. So I got Tampa at 22, Minnesota 21, Chargers 20, Dallas 19, Pittsburgh 18, Denver 17. We've got the Eagles at 16, Seattle 15, Cleveland and New England right on the outside at 14 and 13. Now, Cleveland's offense is 10th, and that's with only 1 week of Baker Mayfield, or 2, kind of. So that can tell you how their offense can get pretty explosive really quick. Patriots coming into this week, guys, believe it or not, last week I had them at like 27th in the poll, and then they just
were they at 14th or 13th?
Bank the Miami Dolphins. It was like 49 and others. So I've got them at they jump all the way to 13. Their offense went, and their offense and defense were both ranked outside the top 25.
Now, Kevin, you got to
tell. And in 1 week, they dropped down to 15th and 12th in offense.
You cannot believe that the Dolphins are going to win that division. That is the Patriots' division as long as Tom Brady's quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the weakest divisions outside of Patriots.
He might have a short there. Is it?
It's on.
Yeah, we might have something going on. I'll get out here in just a second.
Let me do my
let me do my top 12. Here's the top 12 of the teams that actually make the playoffs. I don't know if Ken was listening, but you got to be in the playoffs to be in the top 12, right? You can't win the Super Bowl if you ain't in it, can you?
Ken, we nicknamed Kevin Super Freak.
Sure. So Miami, they got -2 points per game. I got the Bengals at 11th. The Bengals have the number 4 offense, guys, 31.5 games. The Bengals and the Falcons stats are almost exactly the same. Bengals 3-1, Falcons 1-3.
Are they going to win the playoff? I mean, they haven't won a playoff game yet.
No, and the Bengals. Here's the good news for Bengals fans. They've already played 3 games on the road.
Yes.
So they've got. If you look at a team and say you're going to start the season 3 to 4 games on the road and you're going to be 3-1.
That's pretty good.
Right.
That's pretty good for the Bengals.
And they're missing 2 starters from suspensions on defense.
The linebacker?
Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
A lot of the Bengals fans wanted him in that game against Cam. So we're going to come back to the Panthers. I got Panthers 10, Titans 9, Redskins 8, Packers 6, Packers 7, Saints 6, Chiefs 5, Jaguars 4, Bears 3, Ravens 2, and Rams 1. So going back to the Panthers, 8th in defense, no surprise, always top 12, 15 defense. Offense is sitting at 16th right now, so that's good news for Panthers. Like I said, they've got to score 24, so they're holding teams to 20, and their offense is scoring 24. Their margin of error is not that good, so when you got a good defense, good running game, that's good for Panthers. Looking down at their schedule, guys, they only play 3 more teams the rest of this year that have a winning record right now. They've got 10 games against teams losing record.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, Turner's going to make a difference. He'll make a difference. And a lot of people don't realize he's a running football coach, too. I mean, he likes to run football. But he takes shots down the field. He likes throwing football down the field, North Turner does. Offense corner for the Carolina Panthers.
I think, and I really don't want to get – this is y'all's show to really get into it or anything. But the Panthers just signed Eric Reed.
Yes. Really good safe, top 5 safety in football, I think.
Yes. And I don't think as far as the team goes it's going to be a problem or affecting things. But these fans are different fans. These are Southern fans.
Southern, you hit the nail on the head.
These aren't. This isn't Yankee people up north or somewhere else. And a lot of these guys have people in the military that have been in the military. How is he going when he starts kneeling for these flags? How is that going to affect the Panthers? That? Oh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
you think he will?
He's riding the fence right now.
I think he's doing it.
Well, let me ask you a question. Is anybody this year for the Panthers done that? No.
Okay. And that's my thing. So
will the veterans step up like Luke Kuechly, Cam Newton? Will they step up and say, hey, you can't do this? Don't do this.
No. Because remember, this was Jerry's house with those rules. I think here's your issue is Cam Newton's your quarterback, and they're all going to support Cap. So now you're probably going to get too close. I'm predicting a situation where Cam's going to start kneeling, and the Panther fans are going to have this season's about to be kind of different. Or Cam's not. If Eric Reed's over here kneeling and stuff, Cam's going to feel a lot of pressure too. Hadn't Cam, if I remember, didn't he push maybe for getting Kaepernick in there for a tryout or something like that one time?
I can't remember.
So that's my question. Is it going to mess up the locker room? Is it going to affect the fans?
How about the owner of the team, David Tedder? How about him? What's he got to say about that?
Well, number one, he can't stand Trump. Yeah. So Tepper is totally Tepper's in that field.
Yeah,
This is not the same owner of the Carolina Panthers. Just had a Southern. Whatever you want to call him, this is the complete opposite of that.
This move doesn't happen if Richmond is still on.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think Reed wouldn't be there. So anyway, let me finish these up and you guys can have y'all show and I get out of here. Tennessee Titans at 9, Redskins at 8. Here's some fun numbers for them. The Titans and Bengals are 4th on offense, 23rd defense. Titans are 28th on offense, 6th on defense. The complete opposite of the Bengals. Tennessee sniffing around Jacksonville land defensively wise. Redskins, here's a big story on them. 2nd in the NFL in defense.
Wow.
The Washington Redskins giving up 14.7. We've all talked about Alex Smith. I don't know if that's working or not.
Try it, Kenny.
Yeah.
There we go. But so, all right, Ken, Redskins 2nd in defense. I bet nobody had that coming this season. All we've talked about is Alex Smith and Adrian Peterson. Now, what do Alex Smith and Adrian Peterson do best? Take care of the football and move the clock.
Yeah, he don't.
So you take a number 2 defense with a quarterback that don't throw picks and a running back that likes to pound it,
then you got a chance.
Redskins and Eagles. Watch out if Redskins make a run at this. Packers 19th on offense, 11th on defense. Saints, oh my gosh, 3rd on offense, averaging 34 a game, but the defense is averaging 30 a game. Like, all you got to do is just be an average defense. Like, Saints were average last year and went like 13-3 or something.
They were.
So all they got to do is be average, and you're going to blow everybody out.
They got beat the first 2 games of the season. So got blowed out.
Yep. So barking up the Saints tree is the Kansas City Chiefs here. They're 1st in offense, 25th in defense, 36 points a game.
Has Andy Reid ever had a great defense? I mean, think about
really.
it.
There was a couple. There were a couple in Philadelphia with Jim Johnson. There was a couple, but.
Nothing special.
And the reason I got some of these teams higher than others, everybody's like, why are you got somebody ranked? Why is the Bears ranked over Kansas City? It's all about defense.
Bears have a good defense.
They got a defense, but they don't have the offense.
Well, it's coming. It's coming.
So, Tim, they're 8th right now, 27 points a game in offense right now.
I mean, they're coming. They're young, but they're coming, and the defense will keep them in games.
Last season, 12 teams make the playoffs, right? Last season, all 12 top defenses made the playoffs. Last season, all 12 top running teams. So it was the same teams with the defense and running. All 12 of those made
Where's the love for my
made the
Cowboys?
playoffs.
We got Zeke. He's the leading rusher by a mile in the NFL, Kevin. Come on now.
Your quarterback can't complete a pass. That's the problem.
Well, hey,
Jacksonville 4, they're 1st in defense. Any surprise there? 22nd in offense.
Where'd you have them in your rankings?
They're 4th. I just said,
okay.
Top 3 teams, and here's why they are in my top 3. Here's why Bears cracked the top 3. There are only 3 teams in the NFL currently in the top 10 in both offense and defense.
And they are.
And they're one of them. So the Bears added together.
You're right, Kenny.
So the Bears are 8th on offense, 3rd on defense, with an 11.5 point spread a game. They're averaging winning every game by 11. Baltimore's 2nd, 5th overall offense, 3rd defense. Like, you got a top 5 defense. They're tied with the Bears. They're both giving up 16.3 a game. The Ravens' offense, though, scoring 3 more points a game than the Bears. They're 3-1. Their scoring difference is 14. And, of course, the number 1 team, Rams, are 2 on offense, 5 on D, 35 on offense, 17 on defense, a scoring margin of 8.
Well, here's the thing about – now, here's what I like about the Rams, Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips can coach defense. He's not a head coach, but he's a coordinator. He can coach defense, guys. And this guy, I'm telling you, with Aaron Donald, to me, he's the best defensive player in football, hands down. I mean, you got Von Miller from up in Denver, and also you got the guy, what's his name that came over from Detroit and then went to Miami and then back to Los Angeles. Sue. I mean, he's good too. I mean, you put them two together, my gracious alive. And then they picked up the kid from the defensive back from the Denver Broncos that played with Phillips. Mm-hmm. I mean, that guy's. I mean, He's really good, too. I mean, everywhere he goes, he wins championships.
Well, he's looking strong now. It'll be interesting, Kevin, as you go through there to see how things do change as you get more games under the belt. Yeah. You see trends that make a little bit more sense after you get 8 or 9 games rather than 3 or 4.
And it is a matter of who you play. Two teams. The worst thing is over actually Monday. Somebody's got to lose on Sunday.
Yeah.
So if you put 2 good teams playing against each other, the losing team on Monday is always like, we're awful. You just got beat.
Hey, somebody. Well, I started to say somebody got to win, but sometimes you don't at the time.
My picks this weekend, real quick. Now, this is the. I'm going to tell y'all, this is the toughest weekend I've had in a long time, because every team you think should win between the 2 teams is the road team. So just listen to these.
The Giants. Just
listen to this. All right, Titans at Bills. Who you got?
Titans. I'll pick Titans, yeah.
Okay, but it's at Bills.
I know.
But cold weather not here yet.
Yeah.
Well, so the Titans on offense, I want to remind you, are averaging 18 a game,
I know.
And on defense they're giving up 18 a game. So you look at that, and then you're like,
if that's a December game,
but it's in Buffalo. Yeah, and then it's in Buffalo. They beat the Vikings 27-0. All right, how about this one? Dolphins at Bengals.
Ooh. Oh, that's tough.
2 3-1 teams.
I had to pick. I tell you, I'm gonna pick Miami. I'm gonna tell you why. They got the hound bit out of them, so that's why
I would never pick the Miami Dolphins on the road until Dan Marino comes out of retirement.
It's cold weather.
I'd go with the Bengals.
Ravens. I mean, I'm trying to go quick on this, but Ravens at Browns. Ravens, like I said, they're the number 2 team in the NFL right now, but it's in Cleveland. Cleveland scoring 27 points a game.
That's a coin flip. I mean, really.
Think about how many I'm going to go down this list. I think there's a coin flip about half of these. Jaguars at Chiefs.
Ooh, now that's going to be defense against offense.
Coin flip.
That's going to be.
Yep.
All right, Broncos at Jets.
Broncos at Jets. Oh, I'll take Broncos.
Well, I don't know.
Coin flip.
Yeah.
Coin flip.
I'm going to take Jacksonville to
I think
beat
it's coin flip.
Kansas City.
Falcons at Steelers.
Oh, that.
Coin flips. This is all coin
the
flips.
Falcons need a win bad, but they playing.
Steelers only got one, too.
At Pittsburgh.
Both teams
You got to take
need a
Pittsburgh.
win.
You got to take Pittsburgh.
And I too, I'm pulling for
Yeah.
being I'm
you gotta
fan.
take-
Now, most people will say this is not a toss-up, but it probably will be since we're not saying it. Giants and Panthers. But Eli will probably come here and score 30. We'll say they're not going to score.
I'm gonna take
Speaking of that, I got you a stat on that. The New York Giants have not scored 30 points on offense. Ready? Since November of 2015.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
The Giants have not scored 30 points on offense since 2015.
That's pretty good, ain't Kenny? Panthers.
I'm going to say these last 5 games while we're going out here. Raiders and Chargers. Is that a toss-up?
Yeah, probably. Is.
Yes.
Vikings at Eagles.
Ooh. Give me the Vikes.
How about this one?
Pull for them.
Rookie Josh Rosen Cardinals at nobody quarterback in the 49ers.
I'll go.
What do you do?
I go with the Cardinals.
How about Rams at Seahawks? In Seattle. You betting against Seattle?
Give me the Rams.
Even though they own the Rams in Seattle.
Give me the Rams.
Cowboys at Texans, Ken.
How about them Cowboys?
They in Houston.
Yeah, in Houston.
I'm going with Houston.
All right, folks. That's Kevin Hastings from the Saturday Morning Show. Kevin, thanks for helping us out today, buddy.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back here on WCSL 92.3 and 1590 on the AM station. Tim Johnson, Ken Link coming up next.
People are talking about when they listen to country.
We listen to you all the time. I listen to it at night, in the morning, at work, everywhere I go.
Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL Cherryville.
Once Upon a Time is right now. Escape to the Renaissance Festival, a time-traveling adventure. Huzzah! Saturdays and Sundays, September 29th through November 18th. Presented by Pepsi. Endless entertainments.
Jousting night. Men in tights. Oh my.
New sea fairies. The Living Mermaids. Magic and merriment.
Come to the Renaissance Festival.
Saturdays and Sundays, September 29th through November 18th. There's music, comedy, circus entertainments, a giant crafts market, jousting nights, and a feast all rolled into a non-stop great family adventure.
The festival is so awesome.
Discount tickets at Hedis Tita stores or print your own online at renfestinfo.com. Renaissance Festival, here I come.
They've got them all. At Renato Auto Mall in Shelby, they've got Ford, Chevrolets, Buicks, Toyotas, Nissans, Hondas, Kias, GMC trucks, and more. What are we talking about? We're talking about the huge used car selection at Renato Auto Mall. Before you buy, come see Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. And they are now your SUV headquarters. Over 50 to choose from, new and used. All makes, all models, and 10 to choose from, priced at under $10,000 at Renato Auto Mall. 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series Playoffs.
Brought to one of the most demanding tracks on the schedule.
Race 3.
Here comes Elliott Sadler. He'll dive to the inside.
And 4 drivers will be eliminated from contention.
He'll body slam Allgaier coming off the corner.
The Bar Harbor 200 presented by Sea-Watch International.
They keep it off the fence, and it's Allgaier to the line.
Saturday at 2:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Bar Harbor 200 this Saturday afternoon at 2:30 on Carolina Country WCSL 92.3 FM. 1590 AM, online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
For 9 straight years, Ewing Insurance Agency in Gastonia has been voted the #1 insurance agency in the county. There's got to be a reason why. Ewing Insurance Agency features over 75 years of combined experience. Whether you're looking for a review of your auto or homeowner's insurance or seeking a customized business insurance package, the team at Ewing Insurance Agency is ready to tailor a plan that's right for you. Drop by their office at 1548 Union Road, Suite C in Gastonia. Visit their website at insuregaston.com. That's Ewing Insurance Agency.
NASCAR racing right here on Big O Country, WCSL 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia, online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Okay, we're back here on Best in Sports Show on a Wednesday afternoon. Ken Link joining my buddy Tim Johnson, and thanks to Kevin Hastings for filling in for me today as I had a little emergency, which caused me to be late, but I'm here. Tim, I'm ready to talk some baseball.
Let's jump all over it, Kenny. Take it away, buddy.
Tim, the Major League Baseball season ended on Sunday, supposedly, but in the National League for the West and Central, they had to play another game to determine the division winner, because at the top of the Central, you had a tie between Milwaukee and the Chicago Cubs, and in the West, you had the Dodgers and Rockies tied, so each one of them had to play an extra game on Monday, those 4 teams, and this determined who the division winner was, and the Dodgers did beat the Rockies, and the Brewers did beat the Cubs. So your division winners in the National League are Atlanta Braves, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Milwaukee Brewers. So the wild card game happened last night, and that was, of course, the Rockies and Cubs. And a heck of a game, Tim.
13 innings.
13 innings, and the Rockies knocked out the Cubs 2-1 in 13 innings.
Well, I told you the Rockies were going to beat them. Cubs are a great baseball team, don't get me wrong, but the Rockies, they've been scoring a lot of runs, they've been playing real well, and this for some time, Ken, it's been, the years in the past, Rockies couldn't have the pitching because of the ballpark there.
Yeah.
A lot of home runs and stuff.
But they got some young pitchers. They got some young pitchers. And the Cubs bats went quiet. They lost to Milwaukee 3-1 Monday, and then lose 2-1 in 13 innings yesterday. 22 innings, Tim. They only can score 2 runs. They don't get it done if you can't get runs on the board.
So right now, Ken, who do you see? I mean, can we even pick anybody coming out of the National League? Think about it. I mean, anybody could come out of there, but who'd you go with? Who's the team that you think is going to come out of the National League and represent the National League in the World Series?
Well, I'm going to be pulling for the Braves, but I tell you a team that's really played well, and they made some additions during the regular season, and I like their overall club, and that's the Milwaukee Brewers.
I agree with you. Brewers might be the team that gets by the Atlanta Braves. I think Atlanta's going to be there at the end.
Now I like the Braves. I
do too.
I like the Rockies. But I'm just saying what I think's going to happen. I'll be pulling for the Braves and the Rockies, because those Brewers looking pretty tough.
Yeah, those additions and stuff like that they made the Rockies have. To me, that's what I thought was going to put them over the top to beat the Cubs to get there. So, but me and you both are Braves fans. We're Yankees fans too. But I think the Braves is going to be there at the end. But I think the Brewers could be there too. And so that's going to be one heck of a series.
So, Tim, today is the American. Let's talk about the American League real quickly when we get back to the National League. And the wild card game today in the American League is the Oakland A's versus the Yankees. Those are the 2 wild card teams. And they're playing at Yankee Stadium at 5 o'clock today. And the winner of that game will have to play the Boston Red Sox in the series. And the other playoff series will be Houston at Cleveland. And that's a heck of a series there, Tim. And all these series, these first series are best of 5. Now,
yeah, the Indians and Astros, Ken, that's going to be a great series.
And I know you'll be pulling for those Indians.
I'm telling you.
I think that's going to be there are a lot of great series. I mean, Indians versus Astros, Red Sox against either the Yankees or Oakland. Now, everybody says, well, the Red Sox, with the year they had, they got to be favored, and they do. But you never know in a 5-game series what's going to happen.
I think Oakland will beat Yankees, Ken.
They very well may. We'll see.
I think they will. I hope the Yankees win, folks, but I think Oakland – they got hot there at the end of the season.
No, they did.
Won a lot of games.
They're playing well. They got a lot of players that had really good years this year. There's a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But that's what's going on in the American League. And so, like you said, the wild card game today for the American League, Yankees and Oakland. You play all year, Tim. You have a great year. You win 90 games, and you got to play one game to see if you can play them. That's just the way it is. But that makes it interesting.
So how about the Red Sox? You got them coming out of the American League, Ken?
I think so. I got to go with
even
them.
over the Astros if they get by the Indians.
I think this year they have. The Astros had some injuries, and just don't see clicking's quite as good as they were. But like I said, in a 5-game series, 7-game series, things
they got
could be
pitching.
different.
They got pitching too, and they can score some runs.
And you got Verlander. Had him all year. They've got some other pitchers. Cole's had a good year. They've got some pitching, and of course, Boston's got the hitting and the pitching. Then they have Sale and Porcel and a lot of good pitchers as well. And both of them have great bullpens. So we'll see what happens with the baseball. But Thursday will be the NL playoff series begin, and on Friday the American playoff series.
Well, me and you both are pulling big time for the Braves, and of course for the Yankees too. But I like the Indians. I like the coach of the Indians. He's Terry Francona is a great coach. I think he's a Hall of Fame coach, no doubt about that. So, yeah, absolutely, Kenny. I love this is the best. To me, this is the best time of the baseball season right here.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. My mother-in-law didn't follow sports at all. But every year she'd watch the World Series.
Yeah.
And I never could figure it out. But something in her mind, is the World Series on yet? She'd watch the World Series game. She wouldn't watch anything the rest of the year.
A little chill in the air.
Yeah. Never watched any sports the rest of the year. Didn't care a thing about it. But World Series she did.
Well, speaking of your family, Ken, I want to send out a shout-out to Mike and Kathy Stamey. The Stameys there in Cherryville listening. Just got a text from Mike and Kathy just saying, hey, we're listening in. So hello to those good people there. And Cherryville, I know Mike's a big baseball fan, and Kathy, she's a big baseball fan. She's a football fan. So they're big. Mike's a big Cowboys fan too, Ken. So
well, there's a lot of those around,
Mike.
And one of these days they may win the Super Bowl. Who knows?
All righty, folks. College football. Clemson lost their quarterback Lawrence with a first half concussion and almost lost to Syracuse.
They had to come back and score late to pull that game out.
I watched a little bit of that.
And it's sort of tough timing. They name Lawrence the sensational freshman quarterback as a starter. And then Kelly Bryant, who was there playing, get some quarterback time, he says, okay, I'm transferring. And then the very next game that Lawrence starts, he goes out with a concussion. Now you're down to your third-string quarterback. I don't know how long he's going to be out, Tim, but Clemson's undefeated, but they've had the Syracuse game and had a real close game with Texas A&M right at the beginning of the season.
Syracuse always plays Clemson really tough. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
they always play Clemson tough. So
that was down at Clemson.
Yeah, I know. I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that about him. So hey, listen, Ken, your Carolina Tar Heels got beat down pretty good this past Thursday or last Thursday night, Ken.
Well, unfortunately, Tim, I'm afraid that's going to be a frequent thing with the Heels. They just don't have anything going this year in football.
Yeah, and they started the Elliott for the quarterback. Started him, and then they brought Chaz in. Chaz threw.
Neither one of them played. Neither quarterback played well
at all.
No, Chaz threw a couple picks. Neither one of them played well.
I think a couple of them got run back. One of them did.
Yeah, for a touchdown. So we'll see what they do this week.
Canes put it on them.
Yeah, they did. They embarrassed them. And the rest of college football, it's still looking like you got teams at the top are Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson's still up there. I tell you, another team that's really playing well is LSU. So
LSU's playing really well.
You got LSU, Georgia, and Alabama. There's your three SEC powers right there.
Alabama's not going to win the national championship this year. I don't think they will, Ken.
Well, we'll see. Georgia, I think, will. Georgia, they're still playing around with dual quarterbacks. I think they'll eventually settle on one, and I think they'll get stronger as the year goes on.
Who's your surprise team so far?
I think LSU. I don't think everybody thought LSU would be this good.
They're playing really good football.
They're playing really great football.
The Oklahoma Sooners playing good football too.
Yeah.
They're playing well as well. So, yeah, I'm like you, Ken. I think LSU might be the surprise team this year in the SEC. So, and they'll play. We'll see what they're made of when they play Alabama.
Oh yeah. Well, you start to get down in the season about half over, and you get all this conference play, and you have some real good matchups, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, NASCAR. Let's go over NASCAR before we go to commercial break, Ken.
Okay.
Ryan Blaney won the road race at Charlotte as he and Mark Truex Jr. and Jimmy Johnson, the two leaders, wrecked each other on the last lap. Jimmy Johnson has not won a race. Has he? I don't think.
No, but he was in the championship chase. And Tim, if he'd have won that race and finished second, he'd have been in up there probably in the top 6 or 7. By not winning the race and wrecking and finishing far in the back, he was eliminated. He cannot win the championship this year.
All righty, folks. We'll be back, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some NFL and possibly come out with some high school football, too, right here on WCSL 1590 and 92.3 on your FM dial.
People are talking about Carolina country.
I listen to you every day. Love it. I listen to it at home. I listen to it in my car.
Carolina country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL Cherryville.
They've got them all. At Renato Auto Mall in Shelby, they've got Ford, Chevrolets, Buicks, Toyotas, Nissans, Hondas, Kias, GMC trucks, and more. What are we talking about? We're talking about the huge used car selection at Renato Auto Mall. Before you buy, come see Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. And they are now your SUV headquarters. Over 50 to choose from, new and used, all makes, all models, and 10 to choose from, priced at under $10,000 at Renato Auto Mall. 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com.
The moment
is in the air, and here we go.
You can hear replays of it tonight or tomorrow morning.
Bengals to the right at the 15.
You can relive it in your mind over and over.
What do you stiff arm there?
The moment can last a lifetime.
Far sideline, he's into pit territory.
But the moment really only happens once.
25-20 takes it to the house.
Live in the moment right here on the Tar Heels Sports Network. Powered by Learfield.
Some tax services hire temporary employees, run them through a quickie training course, and then turn them loose preparing tax returns. At AccuTrol Income Tax Service in Gastonia, your return is too important to trust poorly trained preparers. They're there year-round, open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. Wouldn't you rather have experience on your side? See AccuTrol Income Tax Service, located at 428 West Main Avenue in Gastonia. Call 704-864-8767 for experience and professional service. Before you buy, give Sellers Service Center in Cherryville a try. Garen and Jordan invite you to come in. Compare their services, but best of all, compare their prices. From a tune-up to an oil change. Plus, they're a North Carolina inspection station and a certified U-Haul dealer. And be sure to check their prices on your next set of tires. Sellers Service Center on the Dallas-Cherryville Highway, open 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till noon on Saturday. That's Sellers Service Center.
There you go, Ann. Your new account is now open. Just one more little thing.
Here's your card.
What was that?
It's my new bank. Every time I turn around, I get hit with another fee.
You need to get an account at Carolina Federal Credit Union.
She's right.
Tired of getting hit by bank fees? Switch to Carolina Federal Credit Union today. Make those pains go away.
Here's your receipt.
Saturday morning sports talk, 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here on Big O Country, WCSL 1590 a.m., Cherryville, Gastonia.
All righty, folks, welcome back to WCSL 92.3 on the FM dial and 1590 on the AM dial. Tim Johnson, Ken Link, Mr. Baseball in the house with us here on a Wednesday afternoon. And I tell you, Kenny, the Carolina Panthers are at home this week after a bye, and they take on the New York Football Giants.
Tim, the Panthers, the bye came at a good time as far as injury situation for the Panthers.
Yes.
They're getting some guys healed up. Trey Turner, who was out with a concussion, he's back practicing. Curtis Samuel, who hasn't played a regular season game this year because of that illegal heartbeat medical condition, he's back practicing. They said he looks faster than ever now, so he's getting healthy. And I also read that Greg Olson is actually running, so he's making good progress. They didn't put him on that IR, so he could come back here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, they expected him to come out earlier than what they anticipated. So, yeah, and also the Panthers got a new football player too, Ken.
Yes, they signed Eric Reed.
Really good football player.
One of the best safeties in the league.
Top five.
He's been a Pro Bowler.
No doubt about it.
Fast, good coverage guy, but he's also 6'1", 215. Really good at stopping the run. He almost hits like a linebacker out there. He's got to help this team. There's no doubt about it. Now there's a little controversy because he with Kaepernick has been one that's nailed during the anthem, and they tried to question him about that this week, and he was sort of non-committal about what he might do and that kind of thing. I've read some things about him, Tim. I think he's a pretty good, outstanding guy. He's well spoken.
Yeah, you was telling me that.
He believes strongly in and the things he does. Now, as a veteran, I think they could have brought awareness to it in a different way, but that's just my opinion. So we'll see what happens. Some folks are a little concerned about what some fans may think about it. We'll see. We'll see how he fits in and what he does on Sunday when the national anthem plays.
Absolutely. I agree with you there too, Kenny. And so we'll be looking forward to seeing him down there too. We'll be there live. We'll do some interviews with the Panthers and also with the Giants too. So we'll have them here next week on our Best in Sports. So tune in next week, and we have some. And also, Ken, I saw where Michael Pilardi, the punter, we had him on the show.
He signed a 3-year extension through 2021. You'd like to see good things happen to nice guys. There's a nice guy.
He's a really nice guy
who came into the Panthers actually going against Andy. I think it was Andy Reid, one of the best punters in the league for years.
We'll talk to him Sunday.
And when Tim and I were down there last year, and we thought he was one of the key players in one of the games we watched. With
Most doubt about it, absolutely.
And we got an interview with him there in the locker room. Nice guy. I'm glad to see him get that extension.
Yeah, we'll talk to him Sunday, Kim. We're down there and try to get another interview and play, his
about his new contract.
Yes, absolutely.
Because fine young man who worked hard, bounced around, finally got caught on with the Panthers. It has earned him a contract.
Absolutely.
Forward.
Well deserved, too.
Yes.
So congratulations to Michael Pilardi, the punter of the Carolina Panthers. All righty, Kenny. Also, Kenny, a big high school football game this week. Kings Mountain Mountaineers hosting the Hunter Huss Huskies. And Hunter Huss, that ought to be one great football contest, Ken.
Yeah, that's in the Big South 3A Conference, a big conference game. Hunter Huss is supposed to have a good team this year, Tim, but I think they've exceeded expectations. They've blown everybody away. They're 6-0.
They're beating the daylights out of everybody.
And Kings Mountain's one loss was a close loss to Shelby, and they've blown everybody else out. So big ball games at Kings Mountain. That's going to be a heck of a game. KTC broadcast, and we'll have that video on their website. Tune in, and you can hear the
I think Hunter Yancey will be there. So Hunter normally goes with us with the Lincoln County.
So Hunter will be one of the broadcast guys on there, and you can listen to and see that game Friday night.
Yes, no doubt about that. Ken, another big contest too is North Lincoln at East Lincoln High School. Battle of undefeated in the conference. Both teams are 2-0. That will be there, and we'll have that game live on WLON 1050 MM 107.5. Ken, that's going to be a good football game. Listen, North Lincoln, I think their defense, Ken, is pretty good this year. And if they can score some points on offense, that ought to be an interesting game. And also, the question is, Ken, have you heard anything about Sidney Dollar, the outside
I have not
receiver?
heard an update. They've been really
keeping that quiet.
Really quiet on that. Sidney Dollar suffered a leg injury or ankle injury, but it's only his lower part there. In the Lincoln game in the first half, didn't come back into play. Of course, East Lincoln was well ahead in that game. But I don't know how bad he's injured. Don't know whether he'll
heard anything.
Be available, or if he is, will he be 100%? That's a big question mark going into that game. Now, North Lincoln, they had a big win over Lake Norman Charter. They had like over 500 yards rushing. Now Lake Norman Charter's not the strongest team, but Coach Basil has been talking about if he can get his offense going. He's really feeling good about his defense, Tim.
Oh, absolutely.
He feels great about his defense.
He's a defensive coach, too. So, he knows how to coach a defense up, and he knows how to prepare for an offense that's explosive like East Lincoln. So that ought to be a great
I'm looking forward to that
defense
contest.
Against offense.
We ought to have a huge crowd there. That'll be a
We'll have some fun with carrying all the guys down. They'll be there, too, down at East Lincoln. We'll see Hammer down in the East Lincoln press box. So, we'll look forward to seeing all those wonderful people, too. Hey, how about the West Lincoln Rebels, Ken? Think about this. They have not beaten the Maiden Blue Devils since 1985, and they have not beaten them, I think, at Maiden until 1978. They go to – listen to this, folks. The West Lincoln Rebels go to Maiden High School, and they just didn't beat them. They whipped them, Ken.
The final score was 31-18, but Maiden didn't score till the fourth quarter. I mean, it was 18-0.
Ken, they put a whipping on them.
They put a whipping on them.
And Ken, I'm gonna tell you, West Lincoln is for real. I talked to Tom Sane for about 45 minutes on the phone, and I tell you, he told me, he says, Tim, I tell you, after that game, I didn't know what to say. He said, I was so proud of the kids. He said, Tim, I've never beaten West Lincoln. I've never beaten Maiden in my life.
Well,
he said, even when I played, never beat them.
It's a great win for Coach Sain.
Oh,
and
yeah.
another thing, Tim, also significant about that was Coach Sain's 100th win of his career at West Lincoln.
What a win.
And, boy, what a win. You remember that one. What was your 100th? He'll remember that forever.
He said he went home and sat in the chair and said he just didn't know what to think. He said, I didn't know what to do. He said, Tim, he said, we beat a really good football team. And he said, my football team just played good on defense. And all. He said, they played a perfect game. And they did. I mean, they played well. And listen, Ken, we saw them against North Lincoln. And we both knew that, to me, they had the better football team. They made some mistakes. And for them to get beat, and for Coach Sain and his coaching staff there at West Lincoln High School to go and regroup and get these kids focused on a heartbreaking loss.
They ought to be. They got to be commended to be able to get that bunch together, go in there with that confidence, and pull off a huge win.
Oh man, I tell you, and I know Coach Sain, he's awful proud. This might be the best football team he's ever had, Ken.
Well, it's looking like it, Tim.
Well, I tell you what, he's got two of the best running backs, probably the best two running backs together, combine. Dual threat.
Yeah, and they're going to run the football, and they're going to pound it. And they got some big boys up front. Blocking and so
hog molly is what you call
them. They're not. There's no secret of what they're going to do. They're going to come at you.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something too. They got the best quarterback in the conference.
Yeah, if they let him throw a little. Here's the thing about Seth Willis.
Good.
He is good running the ball as well. That's part of that running attack. But Tim, he can also throw it. When he throws it well.
Absolutely. All righty, folks. Tim Johnson, Ken Link, the best in sports right here on WCSL. 1590 on the AM station, but hey, keep it on the FM station, 92.3. We're gonna head on out of here, Kenny, and I want to thank Matt's Grill for all the great food they provide for us here at the radio station. And of course, every Wednesday they feed me and Ken down there at Matt's Grill, and I take you on some great food.
Oh, it sure is, and you won't find any better food. And I'm telling you, Tim, for the prices and the helpings they give you, it's a bargain, no doubt.
Absolutely. You guys have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you here next Wednesday. And hey, go up to Cleveland County Fair and see Calvin Hastings and Steve Perkins. Tell them Tim McKeon said hello. You guys have a great week.
Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM. WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
NCN News, I'm Bruce Farrell. The White House is defending the president's verbal assault on his Supreme Court nominee's accuser. The AP's Warren Levinson with this report.
When the president belittled Christine Blasey Ford's charges against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh at a Mississippi rally, he wasn't mocking her charges, maintains White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders. He was stating facts.
Every single bit of evidence and facts that we've seen in this moment have supported Judge Kavanaugh's case.
Sanders accused Democrats of politicizing the confirmation process, charging they always said they would use anything they could to keep him off the court. She charged they're trying to keep the seat open until the next presidential election, calling it a disgraceful power play. I'm Warren Levinson.
Governor Roy Cooper announcing Congress has approved about $1 billion in funding for Hurricane Florence recovery for North Carolina victims. The announcement came while Governor Cooper was in Johnston County today. North Carolina will get most of the $1.68 billion stated for disaster recovery. Cooper says he's encouraged with the response to Florence at the state and federal levels.
We feel good about the coordination that we have had from both our federal partners and the folks at Emergency Management who are working on this issue.
Police now confirming a missing boy whose body was found by searchers had actually been at a park where his father said he ran off and disappeared. Police in Gastonia said that public support and multiple investigations assisted police build a timeline to confirm that Maddox Rich was at the Rankin Lake Park in Gastonia, as his father had said. After a UN court order that the U.S. lift sanctions on Iran, the Trump administration says it is terminating a decades-old treaty affirming friendly relations between the two countries. The move, largely symbolic, and it is a gesture that highlights deteriorating relations between the two countries. You're listening to NCN News.
Sometimes in life it doesn't get any better than a trip to Smithfield's.
Okay, here's a don't get any better. Smithfield's pork shoulder slow cooked fresh every day.
Here's better. Barbecue sandwich combo with fries and coleslaw.
Here's better. Barbecue platter.
Here's better. Combo platter with barbecue and that juicy southern fried chicken.
Here's better. The choices you love made fresh daily.
Break away from the everyday to Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue.
Walking to dinner is great.